The game that you're about to witness is simply going to blow your mind away. This is Vaishali's immortal. I don't use these words lightly, but really, Alexander Donchenko has been in tremendous form. His rating is 2633. They played in the second round classical game at the Biel Challengers, and Vaishali had the white pieces. She opens with e4 and Karo Khan, d5, e5, bishop f5. Okay, all good. c4, e6, knight c3. This is all well-known stuff. Knight e2. Now there is a move which is d takes c4 here. Donchenko goes for it. Knight g3 and b5. In fact, I've played this line myself once against Ashwin Jairam with the black pieces. Risky line, very risky line, because black has won a pawn, but at the same time white is just saying I'm going to castle and I'm going to put my knight here, I'm going to push my pawns forward, and it's going to be dangerous. Okay, bishop goes back, a4 played by Vaishali, playing on the queen side there. b4 was played. Here you cannot play a6 because after take, there is knight takes b5 and then rook is hanging. So that's the reason why here b4 was played. She went knight e4, bishop takes, knight takes, and now knight jumps to f5, attacking the pawn on d4. So Vaishali protects it. And now the queen comes into h4. Maybe not the best move here, but already it's not so easy for black to know what to do, because bishop takes c4 is hanging. You want to castle. So white's position looks easier to play. He went queen h4 and Vaishali came in knight g3, takes on e3, fe, and bishop e7. Now, the c4 pawn could be taken, but first she decides to castle, knight d7, and takes it. So white has now a clear advantage. She's recovered the pawn, but playing against a strong player, it's not so easy to convert this advantage. Black castles, black wants to go c5, maybe bring the rook to c8. Looks normal. Vaishali first pushes a5. Maybe she wants to gain some space there. c5 by Donchenko. And here, I want you to pause this video and think, what would you do here with white? Vaishali finds this amazing move. Just simply amazing, yeah? Rook takes, oops, not the king. Rook takes f7. What a move. And I'm like thinking to myself, what is the plan? Because if king takes, she wants to play bishop takes e6 check. And if you take here, you know what's happening, yes? Queen b3 mate. It's a mating attack. I mean, it's over. c4, queen takes c4, checkmate. Look at the king, it's checkmate in the center. So if king e8, by the way, here, trying to still keep the material. Now this a5 move comes into the picture. Queen a4. Attacking here, and look at this queen. It cannot come and defend the knight. So the rook has to come in. And when the rook comes in, you take, and now, yes, e6. And you win back this rook and you're completely winning. So beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, so king takes f7 is bad. Okay, you can think about going to g6, but after bishop takes d7, white is doing very well. The king is not safe. So Donchenko said, I'll take with the rook, which is not a great idea. I mean, the better move here is king f7. I mean, this variation which we said was perhaps the best that black had. But rook takes, and now Vaishali takes here. And I was thinking to myself, like, what exactly is happening here? Because Vaishali is a full rook down. Then you realize the knight is hanging. Okay, here. Queen b3 is coming. And if you try to, if you try to defend the knight here with rook d8, there are many different ways, but there's also knight f5 which could come in, attacking the queen and the bishop. So rook f8 was played here. And now the point is that if you take on d7, then king h8 and black is doing fine. But Vaishali here should have played takes. And now you can take with the rook or the king. So if king takes, then you find this move queen f3, which is not so easy. And the main point being that if king here, then check and you win the knight. And if king e8 played here, then I can go check, king f7 and rook f1, and this is winning. So you have to by the way, there is king g8 queen d5 check, winning. And instead, if you play bishop d8 here, then e6, knight f6 and queen c6 with a winning position. So here you're going to lose material and white is winning. So this was perhaps better for Vaishali. She went queen a4 here, and she's telling black, your knight has no real moves. Like if you go knight b8 in such a position, I'm coming rook f1 and I'm coming queen b3 next. Donchenko goes bishop g5, but in comes queen takes d7, bishop e3, king h1, takes rook d1. This is again a fantastic move. There were other moves as well, like queen takes a7, but I really like this move, rook d1. Takes, rook takes. Now you're kind of completely trapped here. c4, she just took. Bishop f4, e6. And now, no matter what you do, you're losing material. He took here, and now Vaishali finished it off with e7, resigns. There is, if you come up, queen, otherwise you lose this, and she won. What a game this was. And actually, I realized that the best move and really the deep move here was this move a5, a4, a5, because it made space for the queen to come to a4 in some of the lines when c5. So she actually preempted black's response. Like by playing a5, if Donchenko was more careful, perhaps he would have done bishop g5 here. But the moment he played c5, this came in, and fantastic chess shown here by Vaishali. Let's just look at one more moment, because she is not the only 2600 player she beat. She also beat in the previous round Jonas Bjerre 2653, and in that game she played the French defense with the black pieces, and it was a normal game. I don't want to go through the full game here, but we reach somewhere here where the position is very complicated. Vaishali is a pawn up, but her e6 pawn is weak. And here Jonas goes knight d4, and Vaishali plays her knight to e4, attacking the queen. Queen comes to d3, and now she plays the rook to c7. And this is again a very, very nice way to play. She basically realizes that this pawn is not hanging. And this is Vaishali's way of, I think, a new way of playing. She's able to predict what her opponent will do and make some settings for that, like that move a5 here, rook c7, and after take here, rook bishop takes e6, she takes, knight takes, and there's a fork, but in comes a check. Very interesting. And now you can't play rook c2, that is a blunder because of knight e3 check, and you lose the rook. So you have to play knight d2, because again, if you go king h3, there is knight f2 check, and if you go king g1, I have check, king h1, and knight e3, threatening a mate here, and you have to give up your queen, which leads to a winning position. So that's the reason why knight d2, and now Vaishali finds knight takes d2, gives up the rook, and this beautiful check on f1. You can also go back to c4. The point is same, but knight f1, you can't take because of queen checkmate. You can't come up because of knight f2. So rook c2 was played, and now check. King here, she takes. Rook d1 was played, and now this position is winning. Queen d5 was perhaps the best defense. After king h8, this is hanging, so if queen e4, you can take here, and I'm a rook up, so winning for black. But rook d1 was played, and now came knight e1 check. Queen is hanging, rook takes, check, king here, takes the rook. There was also h5 check, which is winning. But here I think Vaishali decided to play it safe. She took queen check here, knight e6, and now check, check, check here, check. And opponent resigned because king g2, there's knight e3, and you lose the queen. With this, Vaishali has actually played brilliantly, in this tournament. She's currently in the second position, ahead of so many good players like Donchenko, Marc-Andrea Morizzi, Jonas Bjerre, Ihor Samunenko. And basically it's a triathlon, so you have like classical rapid blitz. And right now Vaishali is just 1 point behind Salem Saleh. Their game's going to be very interesting because every classical win gets you 4 points, every rapid win gets you 3, every blitz win gets you 2. I think that's how the scoring works. And in the masters section, we have had uh, I think it's 4 in classical, 2 in rapid, and 1 in blitz. So we have Abhimanyu Mishra, who has had 2 classical wins at the top, and Prag is at number 4 position. He needs some classical wins, but every win is 4 points, so Prag can actually move forward. He's on 6.5 right now. Let's see how this goes. But for now, it's all Vaishali at this event, and actually, it's amazing to see how she is becoming an amazing player. She's crossed 2500 in live ratings. She's world number 11 in women. She's 2501, and wishing her the best in remaining rounds.